Hey there boys and girls, like Skillfaggy here, and welcome back to another Howto Recon episode. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the pistols, but before we start, as always, I'm going to tell you guys that Howto Recon is a series I started in order to update and revamp my old recon guides and tutorials, and just to help you guys playing the recon class effectively. And like I already said, today we're going to choose our sidearm or our pistol, and I'm just going to help you with like what you want to go with, and also depending on what playstyle you're using. So first off, let's go over the stats for all the pistols, and we would start out with the weaker ones, the MP443, G17 and M9. Same damage model, rate of fire exactly the same, velocity is slightly different but doesn't matter because we're using them in close quarters. Big difference is the sights and the attachments they can have, and also the bullet count, so the magazine size. So right here the data is from simfig.com. The link to it will be also in the description down below, so you can check that out as well and just have it like I don't know, just always there so you can look up the stuff. For the next one we would have the M1911. So the M1911 is a little bit different. It's kind of a go in between the weak pistols and the strong pistols, and by those I mean not the fully autos. So we have a higher damage model right here, and on the downside a slower magazine count, so slow rounds, and also the rate of fire is slower. So you know it's getting a little bit bulkier, a little bit heavier, and a little bit stronger. And the M1911 is kind of the middle ground of the pistols. For now the stronger pistols we would have like first of all the fully autos and the one with the really strong bullets. But let's start out with the fully autos. G18 and 93 they're pretty much the same damage model and bullet count slightly different. Big difference between those two is the 93 Replica is a burst fire pistol, so slightly less recoil for the first shot multiplier. G18 has a lot but is fully auto on the positive side, so those for the stats. We'll go over what to use or which pistol to use in which situation in a minute. And as I've said, now we're going over to the really strong pistols, and you already guessed it, it's the .44 Magnum and the MP412 Rex. So those are the revolvers. They have the highest damage models. They're like really strong bullets, 60 for the Magnum at max damage, and for the MP412 the Rex would be 50 damage. Again, low rate of fire and also a really low bullet count, so magazine size, and in exchange for the high power for the punch they're packing. And those are basically the pistols we have like in Battlefield 3, and those are the ones we can use. So now for what kind of pistols you want to use, I will try to keep this about the pistols themselves and not about the attachments, because the attachments don't actually change too much, and if there's something specific I will of course tell you, and I don't think I have to explain that. For example, a silencer will keep you off the minimap and a flashlight will blind enemies. I mean, that's clear and common sense. So now like I said, let's start out with the weaker pistols. And you start out with them, they're all pretty much the same. It's just a personal preference for the sights. For example, I really like the M9, but I think on the downside the M9 has a lower magazine count, so you kind of have to decide which gun you want to use. Since I'm hip firing a lot, I would suggest the G17 suppressed because it has a laser sight on it, so it kind of counteracts the suppressor and you have just like a little extra gadget, and I think it's pretty cool. So if you want to go with one of those, I would probably take the G17 suppressed, as long as you're not using the iron sights because they're really terrible. Then for the M1911, since it's kind of a middle ground, it's probably, how should I say it, a pistol which requires a little bit of skill, since you have to get your shots down, you have to aim properly, and that's really an important thing, since you can't just spam bullets with the weaker weaker pistols. You will have to kind of aim your shots better with the M1911, since you only get I think 8 bullets in the magazine, so you kind of have to decide and go in between on which or what you want to use. Then for the G18, and I'm mainly talking about the G18 suppressed because that one is a lot better, even for hip firing, because so many rounds so fast, and you won't notice a difference. It's just better. And also the 93 Replica. So I've talked to lots of recon people, and most of them really said that they think that the .44 is a really good sidearm, but they prefer the 93 Replica, because if you're caught in close quarters engagements and you just want to finish enemies off or even have to kill them like in whole, the fully autos will really do the job. And like I said, if you're going for more medium or longer distances, the other pistols are all a lot better. But if you're going really close and aggressive recon, those pistols will help you a lot. Then for the like strong pistols, the .44 and the Rex. For me personally, the Rex is, since it has a higher rate of fire than the Magnum and slightly less damage, it's more like a finish-off pistol, even though it does so much damage and it kills people with 2 shots in close range. And the .44, in my opinion, is like a second primary, since you can technically kill 6 people with like 1 with every bullet, and that's a lot. Like, I know you can, with 1 magazine you can kill 6 people. You can't do that with an assault rifle, or like, you get what I mean. It's really strong. So I've said this before, it's basically like carrying around a second sniper rifle, and I would highly suggest, from my personal experiences, if you haven't unlocked the fully auto or the .44, you should definitely go with the G17 suppressed, again, if you're not using the sights. Otherwise, I would go with the M9. M1911, as soon as you got it, is really good too, but it's a little bit more for experienced players, since you can just like I don't know, throw down the bullets at the enemy. Then for the fully autos, they're probably the easiest one to play with, so even if you're not that good at the game, those pistols will really often save your ass. And then for the strong pistols, the Rex is more like a close quarters pistol, and the Magnum like a second primary. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I can say for the pistols, and so I hope you enjoyed this video, and like Skullfucker out.